And today is the day that I questions. I hadn't done QuesDay in a long time. I took a break, and that first Tuesday back was the day after Memorial Day, I believe. And it didn't seem like Tuesday. It seemed like Monday that day. So I didn't turn on my big Q. In the meantime, I had tried to sell the big Q. So I'm just looking through some jewelry this morning. I am going to be selling today at 1:15, but I will not be selling this item. This item I put to the side to gift to someone that helped me this past month. And what happened was I brought 2 brooches to an event that my church had that was for basically for Marty and I. It was my mother's services there. And I took 2 brooches, and there were 3 ladies working in the kitchen. And I said to the lady that was the most mature lady there, I said, I only brought 2 brooches. I expected these 2 people, and now I got 3 people. One of you is different. Good morning, Betty. It's QuesDay. Ask me any question you want. But I'm giving this brooch to a lady at church that helped me out and who was patient. And this is the most gorgeous brooch of them all. So she gets the best because I asked her, I said, can I give you a gift later? And she said yes. So this is what I'm gifting her. I wish I'd have recorded what the other 2 brooches look like. There's a little bit of a tag there left. Good morning, TJ. For those of you that don't know it, Betty is pre-retirement days is Betty, and she cooks, and she is a fantastic cook. And I love watching her channel because she cooks all this comfort food. Sometimes when I'm craving comfort food, watching Betty gets me over that craving. And it gives me comfort. So it's very nice. And TJ has a drone. He flies like a little daredevil. He goes between signs and stuff. It's very fun. He's got one that I'll never forget. It's like he's on a racetrack. He's actually on a literal racetrack running around. Very playful person and very enjoyable to watch. And I just love his attitude about life. So anyway, I'm putting that away. I'm not selling that today. I am selling today at 1:15 at Johnny New England Cajun Roots Reseller LLC is the name of the channel. And the gentleman's name is Johnny. Sometimes he pops in my chat. Sometimes he doesn't. Yeah, I really enjoy your videos. And also, Betty has this beautiful garden area out in the back with a goldfish pond, and she has a chipmunk named Chippy that lives in her yard, and she shows us all the bird species that are out there. I actually don't recall hearing the bird song this morning here. Usually they start... They were probably out there singing. I didn't notice it this morning, but they usually start singing about an hour. Oh, that's right. Okay. About an hour before sunrise, they start singing, the birds here. But Giggles does have 5 drones, 4 of which are in active service, and 1 is rarely used. Is that right, TJ? Did I get that right? And I forget what FPV is. Now, I have a drone friend that lives up near my hometown, and he puts drones up all the time. And I had him look, I forget whether it was Dennis Lovelady's channel or Rodney Bell's channel, one of those 2, because I was hoping he would join us for the lives in the morning on Saturday and Sunday when they watch the sunrise, and to get connected with the drone community. And he was like, oh, those are FPV guys. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, can't all the drone people just get along? But I don't know, because it was FPV, he wasn't all that interested. So maybe I should connect you with him, TJ. So he's on Facebook more than he is on YouTube, as far as I know. I think his last name is Newsom, but I think his channel is just his name, kind of thing. But he does lots of footage all over where I'm from, and it's interesting to see your hometown, because I've seen Georgia, right? And I've seen Maine, and I've seen South Florida a lot in drone footage. And it'd be interesting to have this neighborhood flown over. I actually have some work I need to be done that requires a ladder. I'd love to have drone footage of the top of my house and what needs to be done. And I've needed that for a couple of years, because I had a crooked roofer that told me, oh good, here's another bit of honey. I went ahead and had my bit of honey before I came on today, so you all don't have to listen to me chew. But the roofer told me there was a hole in the roof. And later I was told by multiple people, including someone that looked up in my attic, that there was no hole in the roof. So he lied to me. And so I need to know, and I was told that there's siding damage. So to this day, I do not know what damage was done. And, if someone could, film my roof, I could know what work is needed. I mean, it's sad that we live in a day and age that we can't trust a contractor to go up and tell you what the actual damage is. I mean, this guy told me that I needed a new roof, and I did not. Now, in a couple more years, my roof will be expiring, and I'll need a new roof anyway. But it won't be from storm damage, unless something happens between now and then. That could always happen, that I get storm damage. I mean, it's hurricane season again, starting in June. So from now until really the first week of November, we could be evacuated for any number of things. It's kind of gotten to the point where I just take, if I'm going to have a vacation that year, my vacation money is just used for hurricane evacuations. I mean, we get a motel, we get a pool, we do all that. We eat snack food. Really, Marty has come to love evacuations because of the junk food aspect of it. And depending upon what the budget is that month is what, how good of a vacation we have. Of course, isn't that true of kind of everybody? That when you have to leave town for whatever reason, I found some jewelry over here. You all can ask me any questions you want. This is nice and cold. Oh, yeah. I'm going to wear these today, even though they need to be restrung. The elastic on it is really weak. These are vintage, but they have gaps in them. And when you pull them apart, they don't just automatically come back together. So these need to be restrung. So good morning, everyone. This is QuesDay. You can ask me any question you want. If you're lurking, please chime in. Ask me a question. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell earrings, I think, today or Thursday. I think I'll sell the earrings Thursday. And today I'll be selling the hodgepodge of stuff that I have just swirling around me because I need to sort it and get it out the door anyway. Now that beeping in the background is a Libre, a Freestyle Libre sensor. And it's letting me know that I haven't taken my insulin. And so I will have to wait, let's see, a bit on 10 minutes. I generally go at least a half an hour, sometimes 50 minutes, but I will have to wait to take my insulin. But that's okay. It's not like I haven't done this before. I need to pick a nail color this morning. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my nails. I'll come back to the chat in a minute. I don't have, it seems, a lot of people interested in asking me any questions today, but I'm going to do my nails. Oh, and happy Shabbat. Shabbat is the holiday on the Jewish calendar where it's celebrated when Moses brought down the law off of Mount Sinai, and the Hebrews received the instructions on how to build the tabernacle and how to make sacrifices. And Sunday evening, I read from the Torah. And right now I am in Leviticus. See how far down my arm is? that is. I am just going to have that restrung. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do my nails. And after I do my nails, if anyone has asked me any questions, I will answer them at that time. This is the color I need to use for the Christmas in July sale. My thumbnail today is about Teresa Yarn Again. I've been at Teresa's auctions for quite some time. Done numerous unboxings from her. I should have counted, but I don't have a separate count for her because her and Yarn Again, not Yarn Again, she's Yarn Again. Her and Dawn at Dawn Southern Finds are part of the East Coast resellers. And so is Tooch Man. And Tooch Man is on that playlist too. So, and occasionally I'll put another reseller on that playlist for East Coast resellers that is on their channel for like, I was on their membership auction in May. I joined, I came in the chat, and Teresa immediately invited me to sell the next day. We had discussed it, but I wasn't all that prepared, and I've determined that I'm not going to be all that prepared for any particular auction except for maybe this Pride auction and the Christmas in July auction. So my level of preparedness today is about the same that it's been, a little chaotic, but my sales, the next two sales will be more organized. So I just cover up, this is very textured, so I just cover up what was previously there. My life is such that my nails get chipped in a day. You know, they just, and I could never have like the long press-on nails because they would just be, you know, unboxings are difficult on your nails. A lot of other stuff I do is difficult on nails, and this polish just comes right off. I am going to use something. If it doesn't sell today, let me see. This Instagel kit, if this doesn't sell for $5 today, it's a starter kit, easy steps, weak wear. So it's to be chip resistant and mirror shine. So I've not ever done anything like this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know that I would put it on right. So, oh, this is in French on the back. There is one little opening rip there, and the tape's been removed. And this has been taken out. But oddly enough, I don't think I took this out. Maybe I did. And it was me or the person I bought it from. I bought it. It's new because it's not ever been used, but it's still in the box. So it's kind of a new used item. Somebody opened it up and said, I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe I'll do that. But at least I wasn't the person that bought it at retail price, right? I mean, if you're going to experiment with new stuff, that's kind of the way to go, to get it used first and figure out whether you like it. You have any questions? No questions yet. It is QuesDay. It's also the last day of Shabbat. Shabbat will end at sundown today. I was going to try to do a Bible reading during Shabbat. Actually, I did some Bible readings during Shabbat out of the New Testament. Didn't realize it was Shabbat until yesterday evening. I usually watch the live footage from the Western Wall on the daily, but the last couple of months I haven't been able to do that. I haven't kept up on the war news like I normally do. But I think I need to read the second half of Leviticus chapter 7 sometime before Sunday. And today would be a good day to do that. But I have a sale at 1:30, so I won't be doing that. I have an old copy of my Torah. Now I have a copy. These Torahs were published in 1964, and I looked every young man in New York that was Jewish, I think, got one of these Torah books that has the first 5 books and other books in it, like Esther's in there, that's read during Purim, and several other books. The Song of Solomon's in there, and so the oldest one I have, the binder is falling apart, and I thought about using it for craft, but then I decided not to do craft ever, so I probably won't use that for craft. Passages would look wonderful decoupaged onto something. I need to go by Misty at Skeeter Jones and watch her 10 things. She has a video every week where she videotapes usually 10 things of jewelry, and they are just lovely. So my fingernail polish is adequate. It's not chipped. Hopefully by 1 o'clock it still won't be chipped, but you never know. Victoria will be back on, not this Friday, but the next Friday. She's taking time out to sort a pallet and get her air conditioning fixed, which I think went off like the day before. She got the pallets. She got 2 pallets to sort out, And this Florida heat and sorting out pallets do not mix well together. So she's taking the time that she needs to get all that sorted out. And if she's gotten that sorted out, maybe she's taken a little time off during the summer too. I don't know. We'll find out when Victoria gets back. She comes on at 8 o'clock. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every morning, and Johnny Cajun's reseller comes on at 8:30. Now, Monday, Thursday, he's on with Mark from Two Old Guys Vintage and Resale. And then Friday, he's solo with a game called Would You Buy It or Would... No, it's not Would You Buy It, Would You Leave It? Well, it kind of is. He asks how much you would pay for it, and then he asks how much you think it's sold for. And when he asks you how much you would pay for it, there are people sometimes put whether they would pass it or not. In other words, whether they wouldn't buy it. So it is kind of would you buy it or would you leave it ish. But I really enjoy that game. If you know, I'm busy when I'm not at that game, and I missed bingo last night. I don't think I've missed bingo for over a year, but I was just very, very exhausted. So it's dry now. Yep, it's dry now. So I have some fingernail polish on. I think if I don't do minimal stuff, people get upset with me. I don't know why. It's like I think people should let people be people. But anyway, Teresa hit 1,000 about 6 months ago, and I meant to send her a card, never did. Still got the card, but it'd be like, congratulations for what now? You know, because it's been so long. But I'm hoping to be on with them within the next month. That's a lot of lotion, but my skin gets really dry, especially during the summer. I think one of the reasons, and I've watched a video about this, if your content is varied, that it hurts your channel. And I have a very varied content. My channel is about unboxings and online auctions and Bible readings, and I do all kinds of different slice of life things. There was somebody who's a pretty famous mod in the community came by. I had done 2 years ago. I started doing occasional nail polish videos, and so she asked me in open chat in front of everyone, "Is that going to be your channel now?" And it's like, no, I'm just doing my nails on camera. If I go out in the community and I see like a sinkhole, I've done sinkhole videos because there's a local area that's a sinkhole area, and there was a Winn-Dixie there, and they closed their doors. I don't know if they did it partially because of the sinkhole situation, or they just closed that location. Winn-Dixie here was bought out by Aldi's, and the first thing Aldi's did was close the pharmacy. That was within 2 months, and then after they closed the pharmacy, about a year later, they closed that store. Now, there are 2 other stores somewhat near me, that this was the store closest to me. And but so my sinkhole videos are not as often as they used to be. I used to go over there weekly, and there's still a McDonald's there that I hate to admit it, but you know, I drive through the McDonald's occasionally. But I won't make a special trip to go to that McDonald's or McDonald's at all. It's just like when it's on the way and I'm thirsty, want a little bit of snack, or even, you know, if it's lunchtime, I'll stop and get a meal. But I don't like to do that. It's not healthy at all. And I'll tell you, when you're a diabetic, and I have the unfortunate combination of being diabetic, get my elbows too, and also being allergic to artificial sweetener. Now, that may have prevented me from getting cancer because I do like to drink a lot of caffeine. But it has also helped keep my blood sugar up. But when I go through a drive-through, I will ask for a tea that's half sweet and half unsweet. And I would say maybe 60 to 75% of the time, that's what I get in varying degrees. Sometimes they just put a little bit of unsweetened tea in there with a lot of sweet. Depends upon which one they start with. But a lot of times, 25% to 40% of the time, I would say they give me just straight up sweet tea. It's like they forget to switch, or they just don't want to bother. And I get fully sweet tea, which is like syrup to me. And it just makes my blood sugar zoom. And what do? Go back and say, well, this was only 10% unsweetened tea. Sometimes if it's like really syrupy, I will go back and I'll say, this is not half and half. When it's just over the top, straight up sweet tea that's really syrupy, sometimes I will return it and say, this is what I asked for. This is for a health reason. I'm not trying to be overly picky here. This is not just a personal preference as far as taste. I really need this medically. So, and they're usually understanding about it, and sometimes they're not. But that's how it goes in life. Some people are wonderful and some people are not. But, and that happens. But I will probably end up hitting a drive-through today. Just because it's Tuesday and it's Taco Tuesday, and Marty loves having tacos on Tuesday. Yesterday, I went to a drive-through that was KFC and Taco Bell combined, and I got chicken, and Marty got tacos. And that's what we did on yesterday, because I just had a lot to do. And then I came home and I ate, and then I passed out. And I passed out and did not wake up till 6 or 6:30, and I had missed bingo. And it's just that I had been so busy. I was just so exhausted. I ate a big meal, and there you are. I was passed out. I don't have to drink or smoke or do drugs. I just eat a big meal anymore, and I'm passed out. It's like, not that I did any of those things in excess when I was younger, but I did some partying when I was younger. I don't party anymore. I came back to Christ in 2020, and I'm not condescending or feel like I'm better than anyone else, but I just, actually, to be really honest, I don't think I would be partying at all, even if I hadn't made a philosophical paradigm shift in my life, because my health is not there. My health is not good. So if you can eat a big meal and pass out I was exhausted too. But if you can pass out from a full stomach, you don't need to be doing anything extra. Not even on the weekend, because it just costs you so much time. Of course, if you're in a state of exhaustion and you do something little, like eat an extra big meal, or if you, have a drink, glass of wine, or something considered small as far as whatever you party with, you needed the rest. I needed the extra rest. And I'm so glad I did that, because today's going to be a long day. So let me see if I have any more people in. Oh, Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for listening, Betty. I appreciate you and TJ showing up for me. I really do. And I love your cooking videos. So I know that you have a regular job outside of your YouTube channel, and that's just wonderful. You and your husband are so productive. I love your backyard, and you work at having fun too. You work at having your home environment just be spectacular with all the bird feeders and the goldfish pond and the little wagon that you feed the chipmunks and the birds with. I love that little wagon videos. And it used to be that, well, it was like 15 years ago. I was on Facebook. Well, I had found a website about National Squirrel Appreciation Day. And National Squirrel Appreciation Day is January 21st. And it was founded by a woman in the Carolinas. Can't remember her name. She worked for a preserve that had, not, I wouldn't say a zoo, but they did have animals in habitats there, not necessarily, the stark cages with nothing in them kind of zoo, but, they put wiring around certain areas and had certain birds and this and that in those areas so people could observe them. I guess that is a zoo, but a lot of times when you say zoo, people do remember those concrete floor cages they had those animals in, or just cages. So anyway, she worked there, and she figured out that the day, now this is in the Carolinas, and this was probably uh, in the 90s that she did this, I would say, that she determined that January 21st in her environment was the day that the squirrels had the least amount of food to eat. And that's when people needed to put out food for them. So I started a Facebook group, and it got into the thousands of members. And I started getting harassed a lot. And so finally, I just made it an event every year. And people got mad at me. They said, "You don't know the destruction you've caused." And it's the very person that was harassing me the most that said that. I've learned a lot since then. I've learned a lot about how to ignore bossy people, or we call them trolls. And what I should have done from the beginning is remove that gentleman from my group, even though he was an educated man and he did have clout in his own circle. What he was doing at my group was destructive. So eventually I just kind of gave up on it, and I put the management of that group in someone else. Now, it's hard to say whether or not that group would be dormant now or not, but me and one other person are the only people that post on it anymore. And the guy that's supposed to be the manager, I don't know that he's alive. He's just not posted in that long that, I'm beginning to wonder maybe something happened to him. I need to research that. I need to find out if he's okay. But anyway, sometimes I share your squirrel videos over there, and sometimes I'll share like David Lynn Prepper Principle, or is it Principal Prepper? It's Prepper Principle. I'll share his videos that have coffee in them, especially if he features coffee over there. And Betty, if you would do a video, this would be on the Monday group. I've got a Facebook group called Old Monday, and it's kind of the same deal over there. I think 1,500 members or more, and only 2 people posting, about 3 people liking. But, it gives people in the YouTube community a few more views, a little bit more exposure, just minimal amount. But, but anyway, if you would do a video about coffee, I would put it over there. I put my videos about coffee because I love coffee over there. So, FYI, anybody listening that would like to do a coffee video, I'll share it on my Monday group. If you do a squirrel video, I've shared Dan and Kathy. Oh my goodness, Dan and Kathy. What is their channel name? Handicapped Travelers. Yep, I love Handicapped Travelers. And sometimes they'll have squirrel videos, especially in the spring. And I post their squirrel videos on National Squirrel Appreciation Day. And sometimes I share videos on my Facebook page. But mainly what I share on my Facebook page are my auctions. Occasionally I'll share an auction on Monday, and I've never, to my memory, shared an auction on National Squirrel Appreciation Day because I don't think they'd appreciate that unless I guess I could pull all of my squirrel stuff together. And if I'm selling that, I could put that over there. Thank you so much, Roll Call Cabin. It's good to see you here. I haven't been watching the weather. I don't know if you have a mess to clean up again this week. It's just been kind of a rough year as far as weather. But I was thinking about, you making stuff out of the wood you cut out of your property. And you said you were considering doing that. That would be wonderful. But to each his own. I mean, you've got an endless supply of firewood up there for sure. It's like, well, I just need it. My goodness, I got so much stuff to do. And there's some things that I want to do that I never get to. And it's not that there's anything preventing me from doing those things. There's nobody standing around saying, "Oh, Mara, you can't do that." Because it's just a matter of I have so much other stuff to do. I had to leave an auction yesterday. It was typically a 2-hour auction. And I told everybody, I said, I've got to go do some adulting. And I did. I had some things I had to do because, well, just things you do to keep the lights on kind of thing. And I didn't want to. And it was funny. I was talking to a cousin the other day, and he is upper middle class. He's an oil man, and he occasionally is responsible for the electric grid in Texas. And we have political debates, and we've had political debates for over a decade on Facebook. If you want to know how I really feel about politics, go to my Facebook page. I may be dividing my audience here, but I usually don't go into politics here. Sometimes people pop in and I end up talking about politics because I don't, I'm a whole person. I'm not just, the unboxing lady. I'm not just the lady that does Bible readings. I'm not just the lady that just tracks sinkholes. I'm a whole person. I have a ton of different interests. And if I run across something that fascinates me, whether it's not related to anything else on my channel, I might talk about it or post it. And but anyway, I just don't have I don't know if it's not self-control. I don't have the want to make my channel about one thing and have it be an expert channel on one thing. And they say that your numbers are better if you do just that one thing and, not diversify your channel. And early on, I had thought about, making 2 channels. And I have several channels that I just have to hang out with. And I'll go into different places under that another channel name just to hang out and have fun, because I want to detach myself from the part of, the business part. But I don't use those channels for content. One of those channels, and pretty much everybody knows that I'm also Nacho Flipping Business. And that channel, everybody loves that channel name, and it, in the reseller community. So I'll go in and hang out as Nacho Flipping Business. And some people know it's me and some people don't. It's how it goes. But I did post one video on that channel And the very first video I posted on that channel, I got 1,900 plus views. And I was just like really astounded. I think everybody was waiting to see content over there, but I only have 11 subscribers. But it was about me going to Taco Bell, and I got I think a deluxe box. No, I got a discovery box, which is a type of luxe box. It's a classification. And the discovery box, they change out the extra item. So it's just like whatever it is that week. But it coincided, not to get political, but it coincided with what Wall Street said about Donald Trump being the taco man. And so it was like the day that was released. Now, I did not do that on purpose, and I was naive of what had happened between that reporter and Donald Trump and what the people at Wall Street had said about him. It was just perfect timing. And, because here this channel with 11 subs. Matter of fact, I went into Paul. Oh, what is Paul's last name? He's Philly Flipper, and he doesn't live in Philly anymore. He's in Florida now, but his channel name, I think, is still Philly Flipper. And he used to do lives all the time, and he doesn't anymore. He just sells them Whatnot. He does better selling on Whatnot, Whatnot, than he ever did on YouTube. So he sells on Whatnot. Now, sometimes his YouTube channel will broadcast his Whatnot sales to bring people in over to Whatnot. And I don't go to Whatnot. And that's kind of a long story. But, so I see him every once in a while. But when he used to be primarily on YouTube, he would have these lives, and he would have regular panelists on his live sometime during the weekend. And I would pop in, and I love popping in. It's Not Your Flipping Business. And the first time I did it, he loved the name. And he told everybody to sub to my channel, and he put the link up. And I'm just like, I don't need no stinking subs. And I did. I wasn't really interested in subs. I just wanted to use that channel to hang out with and to be somewhat anonymous. It doesn't really, anonymous status in the auctions doesn't really work very well. I came into another auction yesterday as one of my alternative names, and that one I'm going to keep anonymous as I can. But anyway, I came in, and I started buying stuff. And so I had to email the people that were in charge of the auction to let them know who I was so they could bill me. And, but none of the other people there knew who I was. So I put, and the host was like, I just love you people. I want to give you all a hug. Everyone in chat a hug. And so I put chat hugs, and I put the little emojicon for hugs, because everybody was warm and fuzzy, like, oh, I love you. And they talked about what people had gifted them and that sort of thing. And then somebody, one of their moderators, put me in timeout. And this happened in the middle of me bidding on something. I had bid on something. I was waiting to see if anybody else was going to bid on it. And I was waiting for the sold. And also, it was a choice. So I put that in. I've already placed my bid. And one of the moderators puts me in timeout. Just sit there and sit there and sit there. Right, there's just not enough time. So I just sit there until the very second my timeout expired and put the color I wanted. And it was frustrating, but I did not say to the host or the other panelists, that's happened before. I think just because my channel name didn't have anything in it with my name or my business or anything. And I was, gray when everybody else there is blue. And that's kind of a dangerous situation. I like the way Bob at Anything Is Possible does it, that he has everybody blue. You know, once they come in and they prove that they're not going to act a fool, he turns everybody blue and he's welcoming to everyone. And I kind of want to model that after a while. Once I start getting, say, more than 20 people in the room, I think want to start to model that. But I think that's a possibility too. But and that's happened to me before. But the thing is, usually when I go into auctions that I buy a lot, I've got a wrench too. And see, if everybody's got a wrench, the only person that can place anybody in timeout is the host and the managing wrench. So if you get put in timeout and you're blue, it's the managing wrench that's done it to you. And the host may or may not like that. And if it's an auction channel and that person's bidding, the host will not like that. So, but it was just a situation where half the people were blue, half the people were gray, but there wasn't a lot. Nobody else was bidding against me. So nobody else bid against me once I was placed in timeout. Now, if I had opened my mouth when I came back and said, somebody put me in timeout, it would have created this whole incident. So I just kept quiet, made my selection, and went on. And I stayed about 5 more minutes, and then I left because there was somebody with a wrench in the room that didn't like me. And I don't like to stay because if I'm in the middle of a bid, it's my reputation if I don't follow up, with making my selection or, responding to what they're asking me directly. So I don't like to be put in that situation. I don't like to create the drama of saying, hey, somebody did this to me, because they can't during the auction go and find out who did that to me. Maybe they can afterwards. So maybe in a couple of days, maybe the day that I get my invoice from the sellers at that auction, I'll send them an email. Oh, by the way, I left after I bought this item because, and explain that to them. I don't know that they can actually find out who did it to me, though. But a lot of people, and maybe I shouldn't assume that it's a person. It could have been the AI as well, because I was being affectionate to everyone, chat hugs. Maybe they don't want people to do chat hugs. I don't know. It's getting really tricky on what they want and what they don't want. And sometimes you'll do something completely innocent. And then you find out later, oh, there's a certain group of people that say this or do this. Like, it's been 3-4 years ago. And it was at Donatella Bartolino's auctions when she was on YouTube. She's another one that went to Whatnot. But, and she shows her stuff on YouTube too sometimes. And she has lovely stuff. Oh my gosh. What she used to sell compared to what she sells now is just all very classy. But I mean, she sold classy stuff back then, but she just bought units, storage units, and she brought all of it, and, not anything that was garbage, but she would recondition stuff. And she still does that. But anyway, we were bidding, and the bid got up. I think the item sold for like 90 something dollars, and we got up and somebody bid $88. And we had no idea that 88 was a forbidden number. And people that are straight up World War II German Nazis that still worship Hister would use 88 as a replacement for SS. And so you couldn't use the number 88. And we didn't know. And I don't know who it was. I don't remember who bid that number. They were completely innocent, naive of that would being a thing. And so I found out some very surprising things. Well, that is true. That is true. And like I said, it might not have been a person. It might have been the AI doing it. But the AI is it's a computer program. It doesn't yet. Maybe they will in the future, but right now it doesn't understand emotions. It doesn't understand human sentiment. So, I'll call. I've started being nice to the AIs that I'm on hold with. I used because a lot of stuff you have to do on the phone is very frustrating. And I used to like yell at the voice response unit just to get out that angst, because I don't want to yell at a human. So I would yell at the AI. Well, it dawned on me this past year that the AI may be recording that my voice is raised or that I have a hostile tone. And they may be determining now. I know that sometimes places like will have pre-customer service. And in pre-customer service, you get the person who cannot help you, but will transfer you to a real customer service agent because people are, so belligerent anymore. So, but I'm not belligerent to people, I'm belligerent to AI. So I figured out that maybe I'm not getting connected to customer service because I'm venting with the AI. So I'm going to have to get in the car, drive down the road, and scream in my car if I want to get those emotions off my chest about the frustration of, technical technology or how things work now. I don't use a cell phone. I recently got a laptop. I'm not real versed with it because I hadn't had a laptop in over 5 years. So I'm having to relearn. They've changed. The technology's changed. On laptops, they try to get you to use AI constantly, and I don't want to. So it's not, but it's all new. Even if I decided to start using AI on the laptop that I got, I don't like it. And it doesn't always get right what you're looking for. Yes, they are getting smarter every day, and maybe they will understand human inflection and sarcasm in the future. I tend to be sarcastic when I'm not happy, and, and so the AI might not understand that. Like I went somewhere. Well, I won't say where I went. But I went somewhere yesterday and they were calling me Miss, MISS Myra. And to me, that's a title that, you know, is for someone who is 18 or younger that's unmarried. Or, you could stretch it to 24, 25 because a lot of people have that period that they stay unmarried now. Um, people marry later now than they used to during my generation. So, you could call somebody 24 an unmarried miss, but for me, calling someone that's over 40, let's be generous, miss is patronizing because I've had a lifetime of experience. I have I have work experience, tremendous life experience. I've been through a lot, and I have education. And I feel like when you call me by a title that's intended for a girl, that you're erasing my life history, my education, my work experience. And I'm not the kind of woman to be trifled with in real life. I'm very serious about my business. I think everybody should be, and I think one of the things that I say to people when I start explaining when they ask me why I don't want to be called Miss, I'm like, well, why don't you just pat me on the head and feed me a dog biscuit? And if I say something like that online right now, I feel like I'm going to get ads for dog biscuits because the internet or AI, whatever AI is listening, doesn't understand. I don't really want dog biscuits. I just feel like older women are sometimes treated like dogs when they have a lifetime of experience and education and so much to contribute. but we're slated to be less than men. We're slated to be less than younger people, and more so than men, in my opinion. And that is why I don't want to be called Miss. But when I go somewhere and I say, please don't call me Miss Myra, and they continue to call me Miss Myra, I find that very upsetting. And this woman came over with a laptop, and she's like, I had finished my transaction, and she came over and she's like, well, she was the manager. She's like, I didn't catch what happened in this transaction. Why don't you come over into my office and we can talk about it? And I'm like, no, I'm done with the transaction. We got through it. I'm going to leave. And she continued to call me Miss, and she continued to insist that I come talk to her. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to buy any more products. I don't want you to discuss my business, my personal business with you anymore. I just want to leave. So I left, and it was brilliant, though. The lady at the door was so in tune, and she was like she was the lowest person on the employment rung at this location. And she came, and she was like the hostess. She would come in and ask what you wanted when you came in the door. So she opened the door and she said, have a good day, Myra. She got it. She absolutely got it. And she's the one that should be the manager. And the manager is the one that should be opening the door for people. And I just found that astounding. And I find that in a lot of places, that the person that's the lowest on the rung is more in tune with people. And by the time the people get to manager, and this is, like a physical site. This is not a website. This is not a telephone call. By the time they get to that position, they're out of tune because the humanity is trained out of them. But anyway, that's maybe a thesis I should write, or a paper, or a write-up on a website. But I have done several videos about what's wrong with the word miss, M-I-S-S, for to use that towards elderly women. And it's like used like a weapon sometimes. Just like when Vladimir Putin and Zelensky meet, if they ever do meet, there's a certain thing that extremely world leaders and even people that are CEO level, or even people at churches, do, to where when they shake someone's hand. Now, when I'm a woman and I shake someone's hand, a lot of times men will turn my hand over and give me a kiss on the back of my hand. And I just love that. That's it's something that I'm accepting of. But anyway, men will try to have literally the upper hand in a handshake, to be the dominant person. And that's what happens with older women. The other person that is addressing them, if they're not also an elderly woman, one of the things they'll do is they'll call the elderly woman Miss, to put her in subjugation, to put her in a lesser position than she would be if she didn't have gray hair. And I just find it very demeaning. And it is meant to be demeaning. It's about personal power. It's about who's going to be dominant, who's going to lead, and all of that. And I just don't like it for obvious reasons. But there's more to it than that. There's a history there of the antebellum South and all kinds of different things. But I've made various videos about it. I've mentioned it in various videos. And what I need to do is I need to make a playlist or listen to all those videos and make a summary of what all's wrong with Miss. But anyway, I didn't need to go down that rabbit hole. But the emotionality of AI, if somebody teaches AI to call women over 40 Miss, I would go back to screaming at AIs. But But, if you start screaming at the AI, you might not get the real customer service agent that you want now, because they can measure decibels and volumes, and they can measure attitude a little bit, although they don't understand sarcasm. They don't understand wit, hardly at all. So God help us when they do. God help me when they do. But anyway, I think I just had a bronchial burst in my lungs. But the day is getting shorter and shorter, and I appreciate those of you that showed up and listened to me prattle on about what concerns me. You all have a wonderful and blessed day.